Welcome back to Growing Home Acres Builders Edition. I'm back working on Sarah's house today. It's gloomy outside. Yesterday it was, I think they said 98 degrees and the heat index was 106. Today it's 75 and raining. That's Missouri. So what we're doing today, we're starting the electrical. Framing's done. So as you can see here, I'm putting a triple switch in by the front door. We don't know how we're going to do the wiring for the ceiling fans or the lights or any of that. So I'm trying to make sure I'm covered. So when we drywall and we have electric pulled, if something changes, we have a fighting chance of being covered. Now, all of the electric's going to be run before the drywall, but things happen. So we're using these plastic boxes. They just nail in. So we're doing a three-way or a triple at the front door to cover the living room lights, the outdoor lights, and possibly the living room fan or the kitchen lights, which is what I want to do, but I'm getting some pushback on that. How many times have you walked out of your house, left the kitchen lights on, you're standing at the front door, it's pouring down rain or it's snowing, and you go, oh my gosh, I have my boots on, now I got to take my boots off so I can walk back in the kitchen, turn the kitchen light off. Kitchen is right there, that messy room right there. Even though there's a couch in there, it's actually the kitchen, which the couch is in the kitchen and the kitchen cabinets are in the living room because that's how we roll. So I put a triple here. All I'm using is a plastic box that nails in place. It's for new construction. We're running Romex. So if we run Romex through the top of the walls or up along the ceiling, because as you can see, we have a little bit of dead space because of the way it's set up. So what I would like to do is run all of the wiring through the ceiling and then down. And we'll drill a hole through the top plate. And I'll show you some of that as I go. Same with the outlets. Outlets, same thing. Outlets are going to be 8 feet apart. And it's 8 feet starting at the fuse box. And I'm just going to lay them out 8 feet apart. So that's it. So we have a plastic box there, plastic box there. Oh, height. Let me talk about that. So we're going to try and go by standards. What I mean by that is they give you a range that you can put your outlets, your switches, and they go by an ANSI standard. I don't know who comes up with them. They usually work out pretty well, and we go by them. So the outlets are going to be 16 inches off the floor to the bottom of the outlet. That'll put them at a nice height where you can plug stuff in. They allow you to go as low as 12 inches. I think 12 inches is too close to the floor. The other thing is, switch height. Switch height is 42 to 48 from the bottom of the switch to the floor, or the bottom of the box to the floor. I'm putting them at 42. 42 is a nice, comfortable height. It's high enough that little hands can't reach, and it's low enough that, Sarah's 5'2". Little hands can reach. So, and then there's one more thing. This potbelly stove is getting installed right there. We want to make sure that we're far enough away from the outlet that it can't melt it. And we want to be close enough with the outlet so if she puts an auxiliary fan in the flue and she has to plug it in, she can plug it in without using an extension cord. So the stove is not exact where it's going to go, but the outlet is far enough away that we don't have to worry about it getting super warm. I was going to put outlets directly under each window. I changed my mind on that. It's not necessary. If you're doing outlets every 8 feet, which is what code is, then it's unnecessary. You should be able to plug something in fairly easily. You should be able to plug it in fairly easily, and you won't have to worry about overloading your circuit. And that's the other thing we don't want to do. We don't want to overload the circuit breakers. Now, we have plenty of power in this house. This is a little tiny house, and we have 100 amps running into it. She's never going to overload. I think that's what we ran. Or did we run 2? Now that I said that, we ran 200 amps into this house. She is never going to be lacking for power. Now, the exception to the 8-foot rule is going to be in the kitchen. In the kitchen, which is these 2 walls, we're going to put the outlets every 6 feet. And the very first outlet's going to be on a GFCI breaker. GFCI is ground fault circuit interrupter. The reason you put a ground fault circuit interrupter in is if somebody drops something electrical into the sink and it shorts out, it blows that breaker immediately. If you plug something in and you overload the circuit in the kitchen, which is the place where most circuits get overloaded, is in the kitchen. Because what do? Blender, grinder, coffee pot, the microwave's on its own circuit, lights, all kinds of stuff that you plug in on the counter when you're trying to do stuff, hot plates, crack pots. You put more and more and more amperage to your circuits. So you want to guard against that. So we're going to go every 6 feet. We're going to put a GFCI on the beginning, ground fault circuit interrupter, and that should keep the kitchen safe. Now, a disclaimer on this. I hate ground fault circuit interrupter outlets. They go out. They break. They don't work properly. They're difficult to diagnose when they do go out, unless you are prepared to just say, oh, look at that. The ground fault circuit interrupter won't reset. I can't find anything else wrong. Let's switch it and see what happens. I always felt like the breaker's going to blow if you overload it, and that's okay. We're not going to do that on this project. We're going to make sure there's a GFCI outlet, first outlet in the kitchen. The refrigerator will be on its own circuit. The microwave will be on its own circuit because we have the room to do it, and that's what we're doing. So that's what I got going on today, and I'll show you what it looks like once I get some outlets and some switch boxes installed. Okay, I'm back. It's a little while after the last little bit. Gotta make myself giggle. So we've changed some things, and I can't complete it today because we changed some things. All right, so by the front door, got a triple switch box. To the right of the door, so like in this corner, there's a single outlet. Right here, there's going to be a 36-inch doorway. We'll probably make it a 39-inch doorway or 40 or whatever we decide to make it, because that's going to go into a hallway that's going to go to a third building. Because Sarah wants her tiny house to be as big as possible. She's going to add a third building eventually. So then we've got an outlet here, 16 inches up. We have an outlet over here. This outlet lines up with that outlet. And as you might guess, there's a television going on this wall eventually. Then we have that outlet down there, which is over where the sliding glass door is going to go. Sliding glass door is not in because it's too heavy for me to put in by myself. It might even be too heavy for me and David to put in together. So we're going to do it when we have more help. I have an outlet down low here. The kitchen ends, the kitchen cabinets end at this mark. Eventually there may be a pantry that goes in here. Now, we have to put a triple switch by the sliding glass door back here. There's going to be a 3-season room, screened-in porch, something on the other side of that outlet box, and I have to be able to pull power out there or have light switches inside, turn lights on and off and stuff. Though you want to, once that room is built, we're probably going to pull power off there to put a light switch for outside lights somewhere in that 3-season room. Then we have kitchen outlets. Those kitchen outlets will be above the countertop. but not so close that you can't get in there and use them. That outlet is for the microwave hood. And that goes in the upper cabinet, so that's why it's up so high. Then we have other outlets all around the kitchen. She'll have 5 outlets above her countertop. That should be plenty of power to plug in small appliances, and not so much that it overloads. Then you've got a refrigerator outlet down low, triple switch box for this side of the kitchen, lights, fans, things like that. And then outlets down low. Those outlets are the only ones that are the actual 8 feet apart, because really it's the only long wall. Over here, where the stove is getting installed, that outlet is 22 inches from where the stove is sitting right now, and the stove is not centered. So it'll be 2 feet from that stove to keep it from overheating, but still enabling her to plug maybe a fan in there to blow into this doorway into the mudroom. Now, I only have the light switch here and the light switch box over there. I don't have outlets in here yet because, as you can see, I've got a lot of stuff in the way. And we have plywood walls that I may have to cut to install outlet boxes from the back side. So that can't be finished yet. That's where the electrical panel is, in the mudroom. Now, with this ceiling, we may put 4 can lights and a small ceiling fan in here. We have the can lights already. I'll give a little tutorial on how to install those. It's pretty easy. So if you walk into the bedrooms, you have an outlet down low in the hallway to plug a vacuum cleaner or something like that in. You have the light switch for Jack's room. Now remember, we have to leave enough room for trim on the doors. I don't want to be too tight there. Oh, and the reason the light switch is here, so there's going to be a door right here. So if you go in here, you turn the doorknob, swing the door open, reach in, flip the switch. Then I'm trying to get as many outlets in here as I can and keep them as far apart as I can. So you've got an outlet here, about 2 feet off the doorway. You've got an outlet over there, about 2 feet off the corner. Outlet on that wall, 2 feet off the corner. Outlet on that wall, and outlet on that wall, and outlet on this wall. Though this one's a little bit farther than 2 feet from the closet, but that's okay. I did add an extra outlet in the closet. Normally you wouldn't have outlets in your closet, but it's nice to be able to plug things in to keep them charged that you want the kid to put away, you know. So he's got toys that have to charge. Stick them in the closet, plug them in. So that's that bedroom. In the bathroom, this is approximately where the vanity is going to get installed. So you've got one outlet on this side of the vanity, one outlet on that side. The vanity may get moved a little bit, but we know that there's a closet that's being built here. So that switch, or that electrical has to be moved. Now, Sarah might want to put a makeup light or a lighted medicine cabinet, something like that above the sink. If she's going to do that, this outlet here might get turned into a switch, and then there would be that outlet over there to plug in like electric toothbrushes, things like that. I don't know yet. I'm not real sure. And we don't want the outlet too close to the sink. We have an outlet down here inside the bathroom. Remember, there's going to be a bathtub over there. You don't want that too close. But you want to be able to plug stuff in. There's an outlet here in the bedroom. I think the bed is going to face like this way. It's farther over than you normally would want it because you got to have a 30-inch door swinging open. You don't want the outlet to be behind the door. Plug something in, open the door, and now you have a broken outlet or a broken plug. Where all of this plywood is, there's going to be another outlet behind it, but all that plywood's in the way. Then in this room, I wanted 2 outlets on this wall, and because it has 2 windows, I centered them under the windows. And then there's one outlet here in this little closet that will be behind the dresser. She can put a lamp on top of it then, or phone chargers, and then an outlet here. So plenty of outlets in this house. We want to try and make it so she never has to plug an extension cord in. In the living room especially, where the television's going to go. We're trying to keep the television far enough off the corner she can put a Christmas tree there if she wants to, or any other kind of decorations. Corner cabinet, I don't know, women do crazy stuff, so whatever she wants to put in, we'll put in, right? The only thing that's not getting installed, well, not the only thing, I have to change out some switch boxes for double switch boxes to put in, to have fan and light separate. In the middle of the kitchen, so here me. In the middle of the kitchen, in all of this mess. So imagine you've got cabinets that go all the way around, all the way around. She wants to possibly put an island. Now, we have an island in our house. It does not have power. It was a mistake made by the builder who didn't put power into that island. And yes, I regret it. And we may try and remedy that, but I'm not sure. She wants to put an outlet right here, right smack in the middle of. So if you put that right smack in the middle of the kitchen, and you don't have the island there yet, you could cause yourself a lot of problems. So we're not going to install that. When we do install it, we're going to put a blank metal plate on that outlet box so people can walk on it, you can roll stuff on it, not worry about damaging it until we get the island built, and then we can just snake the wire up through there, put the outlet wherever we want in the island, and then she's all set. Because if she decides to do like a open-sided cabinet to store like KitchenAid, blender, Instapot, toaster, stuff like that, if she wants to do that in the center of her kitchen and make it look really cool, then we would just put an outlet on the floor or an outlet in the bottom shelf in that cabinet to have power. If she decided to do like cabinets with a countertop as an island, then we would run power up and we'd install a low profile outlet in the back side of that where she could plug in whatever she wanted to plug in. The whole point of doing this as new construction is to make it as absolutely convenient as possible. And that's what we're trying to do. We haven't decided on ceiling fixtures yet, or kitchen fixtures, things like that haven't been decided, but that stuff's so simple. And she might, who knows, she might find it at auction or find it at a used shop, something that she really likes, something cool. Like my Uncle Mark did all of his light fixtures with old railroad lanterns and wired them in. And I got to tell you, it's absolutely outstanding. I wish I had that kind of creativity. So, but that's it. That's what we've got going on. And if something else comes up that's different, I'll come back on here and tell you about it. But have a blessed day. If you like what we're doing, go to Growing Home Acres, like, share, subscribe. And we'll keep going on our project. Thank you.